record for YouTube. It didn't do the music opening, which works for me. Alright, we're gonna change the settings, because as you heard, our buddy there, was talking. So we're gonna mute everybody. That was Tominari, that was jib-jabbing. Right now, only characters they're introducing in this little section here that to let you mute it out are your main characters. Unless it didn't reset. It might not have reset. If so, I'm gonna have to see. I think it reset. Alright. Yes, okay, it reset because it don't have the retrace footsteps or exhibits. Good. Alrighty. I don't even know why it says continues. There shouldn't be anything there. Yes, so it's nothing. Good. So, I muted all the voices. Generally, you would hear whoever's on the front screen here talking. But I don't know what they're saying because it's not... There's no text. So it doesn't matter. I'm not missing anything. You're not missing anything as far as I'm concerned. I do recommend getting the game for yourself to enjoy their voices, though. Alright, we're going to leave it as the default name. Her name is Susan now. Yeah, that's fine. So this scene won't make it any sense contextually until basically the last two routes of the game. But basically, right now, got a character, he's running through the forest. He's out of breath. He's like, how did things end up this way? As I darted through the forest, the same question kept echoing in my head. The darkness around me provided no answer. Real quick. Let me speed that up, because that is slow. Thank you. You slows. Thank you. Okay. I ran and ran. My legs had got numb and I could hardly breathe. If I lost my focus for even a second, I would surely tumble. Even so, I couldn't stop because of them. I'd only become aware of my pursuer after I entered the forest. I couldn't see them at all. Yet, even as they gave chase, their accuracy was deadly. Judging by their skill, they were no ordinary bandit. The enemy was likely from that clan. I couldn't allow myself to be killed. I had to hurry. I had to leave this forest. Chances are my family would be in grave danger, too. They could already be. No. I think about that later. For now, I needed to. Yeah. In that instant, pain seared through my left leg. Before I knew it, I collapsed onto the ground. When I glanced at my injury, I found a kunai deeply embedded in my flesh. Damn. Why? How did this happen? Are they safe? I sensed someone approaching me. Bearing through the pain, I looked up to face them, and there, standing before me. Farewell! Their voice never reached my ears. For the moment the pursuer's lips formed that word, I felt cold steel bite into my neck. I know who it is, but I ain't telling you. Alright, YouTube might mute this. I don't know. If YouTube says to mute it, it's happening. I'm gonna talk, though, assuming that they might let it. I don't know. If they don't, oh well. It's not a big deal. So, this is kind of like an introduction of the characters, real quick, and it's semi-accurate. I disagree somewhat with some of the stuff. So, sincere and taciturn, compassionate and chivalrous, frank and apathetic. I guess. He kind of is. Diligent and selfless. vain and alluring. Kind of disagree. Lively and carefree. He tries to act that way. And then those are all the other characters. They just kind of throw them all at you. But they don't even introduce some of them in some of the routes. In fact, some of them you actually can learn more from bad endings than if you just stick with only doing the good endings. So for each route, we're going to make saves along the way. And we'll do the good ending first, and then back into each route to get the not good endings. But yeah, we'll start with all the good endings and then go from there. So now we're officially in Chapter 1. We're going to start with Susanoo here. I pray that I can continue living in peace. It's really hard to repair, so I also pray the house I live in won't break down any further. What else? Oh, I pray that I can become friends with the people from the village in the foothills. It is the 11th year of the Kyoho era. Over 100 years have passed since the Tokugawa family came into power. As I performed my daily routine of praying to the shrine, I stood amidst the flitting stone. I'm not going to hit the glossary for this because I simply already know about this. So in Japan, there are these shrines, and you go and you put your hands, and kind of clap them together like she was doing, and you pray. And you generally pray for stuff kind of like she was doing. You pray for, good things, basically. This one, as you could tell, is covered in snow and stuff. She's the only one taking care of it. The village has pretty much neglected this area, and there's reasons for it, but they're kind of dumb reasons. No one else was around me. I've heard rumors that Edo and Kyoto are becoming more advanced and populated, but I live alone in a rundown village in the mountains, left behind by the changing times. Maybe I asked just a little too much from God? I don't have anyone else I can talk to around here, so I always end up talking too much. Thank you so much for listening to me. If only there were some animals around here, but it's always snowing, so no matter the season, so I never see any living creatures. The unusual snowing thing gets explained later on, too. Yet again, you'll have to stay tuned to the last two routes. Because of that, I feel even lonelier. At any rate, it's really coming down. As I stared up at the sky, muttering to myself, I heard a sound coming from behind me. Immediately turned around and saw two men setting some goods on the ground. They're the people from the village in the foothills, who routinely come up to deliver my supplies. This might be my chance to finally make some friends. All right. With quiet anticipation, I called out towards the men, Thank you so much. I appreciate it every time. Well, why is she outside? Don't make eye contact, you idiot. Come on, let's get out of here. But the men didn't answer me. Instead, they hurried away. Even from a distance, I could see several vibrant yellow threads draped around their necks, like necklaces. She'll explain this a little more later on, but this is her ability. She was born with it. Her mother had this ability, and she inherited it. And she can see people's emotions as a necklace around their neck. Yellow is caution. Oops, I messed that up. In any case, there was no way to talk to them while they were in that state. Though I understood that, their reaction was so extreme that I couldn't help but feel downhearted. If only I were normal, I could have lived like anyone else in the village in the foothills. No one would avoid me like this. Maybe I should move somewhere else if all I'm doing is causing problems for everyone. But Father's grave is here. I couldn't just leave. And if I'm still the way that I am now, things will be the same no matter where I go. I shook my head as if to drive away the thoughts churning in my mind. Come on, pull yourself together. Didn't you promise Father that you'd do your best even when you're alone? That's right. There's no point in thinking about this kind of stuff. I should be grateful. They're even giving me supplies, ostracized from the village or not. Thanks to them, I could make do, even by myself. I quietly crouched down in order to pick up all the supplies. They were wrapped in a cloth, and it contained warm clothing, some seasonings, and various food items. Naturally, I can't get these kind of things myself. What a lifesaver. This is all thanks to Father, who helped out the villagers so many times. Or it could just be that the villagers are using the supply runs to check if I'm still alive. Ugh, thinking like that really gets me down. I was still crouching at the ground. I stared down at my feet. He's so cute. The pure white snow slowly accumulated around me, cloaking my sad thoughts and circumstances in a beautiful veil, or that was how it felt anyway. It's hard not to let your thoughts turn gloomy when you're alone. I should try and look at things more positively. And now we have another little shadow. In that moment, a dark shadow appeared on the ground. So, the first time I saw this, I guarantee everybody sees this, the first thing they're like, where? To the right. So you see the shadow where her feet is? There's a shadow to the right that wasn't there. I know. It's very hard to notice. It's just a small detail. The sky was full of clouds, so it couldn't have been from a change in the weather. Which means... Yeah? What are you doing? Your kimono is going to get wet if you stay crouched like that. Confused, I looked up. There, standing before me, was an unfamiliar man. Who's this? He isn't from the village, is he? He's incredibly well dressed, and he has a sword hanging from his belt, so he must be a samurai, right? Kind of. On top of that, he doesn't have threads? That explains... it's explained later, too, why he doesn't have threads. What a mysterious person, and for some reason, couldn't tear my eyes away from him. Skin and hair so pale that he could melt into the snow-white surroundings at any moment, and his eyes shining like glass. Despite the fact that this was my first time seeing him, there was something about him that made it look like he belonged there. I know why. This fluttering sensation in my heart had to be... How nostalgic. What? Weird. Why would I say such a thing? I was surprised. That sentiment was exactly what I was thinking. It was as if he had read my mind and called out what he had seen. My heart raced at the thought. Well, never mind that. More importantly, you're still crouched down. Are you feeling all right? No, sorry. Oh no, now it looks like I was ignoring him. I hurriedly grabbed the hand that had been extended to me. Then the man gently pulled me to my feet. My nose is itching me. Oh. I'm sorry about that. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Don't worry about it. It's no trouble. Anyway, are you feeling alright? You don't look so good. No, I'm fine. I was just spacing out a little. I see. That's good to hear. The man smiled softly, like a blossoming flower. It's been ages since I've seen anyone smile like this. No, actually it's been ages since I've talked with anyone at all. Such a small interaction may not have been a big deal to anyone else, but I was over the moon. Yet at the same time, something kept bothering me. It's rare for a samurai such as yourself to be in the countryside. Are you lost? Then, as if he hadn't noticed until now, the samurai started looking around. Where is this? Huh. I walked from the village in search of someone, but... Is this the summit? He is most definitely lost. The village you're talking about is the one in the foothills, right? I can guide you there if you'd like. Really? Yes, if you're alright with it, I can take you to where you can see the entrance. I was told that I can't enter the village, but by the way would be fine. Hey! I offered to take him there out of kindness, but really, I just wanted to talk with someone a little more. Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Tomonari Takamura, and you are? My name is Susanoo. I have been living here alone this whole time. You're Susanoo? That's right. Great, nice to finally meet you. You have a summons from the shogunate. Can you accompany me to Edo? I'm sorry? Took a moment for his words to register. I can read. I keep getting tongue-tied today. A summons from the shogunate, like directly. Which means the shogun is telling me to go to Edo? The same shogun who rules the entire country? You've got to be joking, right? This is no joke. I came here to fetch you as part of my mission with the Oni Waban. I will struggle with this word every time. It is a made-up word, but it's basically this group of dudes that don't have emotions. They don't have memories of their origins or access to the emotions in their hearts. All the way out here in the mountains? Pretty much. Oh, and here are the documents from Lord Yoshimune. So, Yoshimune is the shogun at this time. And that's all that we need to know about that dude. Those words, Takamura took out what looked like a piece of paper from his inner pocket and handed it to me. You know, it's exactly what I'd just been told. The very bottom of the letter was the name Yoshimune Tokugawa, stamped in red ink. Do you believe me now? Uh-huh. Oh, what does this mean? The documents seem to be real. Everything is just happening so fast. For now, if there's something I don't know, I should ask. May I ask a question? Yes, go ahead. I'll answer as best as I can. For starters, what is the Oni Waban? Is that a profession in Edo? Oh, right. An ordinary person wouldn't know about it. The Oni Waban is a covert group created by Lord Yoshimune. Quite literally created by him. We take direct orders from his lordship and perform secret work. I see. That explains why this person dresses so fancy. He must be really important if he's part of the Shogun's personal espionage team, right? Goodness, phone being annoying. Okay, so why me? I'm just a normal country girl. I'm not anyone the Shogun would call on. You should know the answer to that better than anyone else. Huh? I was startled by his words. Could it be he knows about my power? But I can't imagine it ever benefiting anyone. Regardless, I couldn't bring myself to ask him again. Is there anything else you want to know? After I finish what I need to do, I'll be able to return. My father's grave is here, so... I'm not sure, but it probably won't be anytime soon. You should be prepared to be gone for at least a few years. No way! That's out of the question of away for that long. The father's grave will be neglected. And what if I refuse to go with you? I nervously asked him. In response, Takamura tremblingly tilted his head and smiled. Depending on the situation, I might have to kill you. Kill? Yeah, this is a direct summons from the shogunate. Besides, you just learned the existence of the Oni Waban, which is confidential, didn't you? I'm such an idiot. I should have just kept my big mouth shut. But in any case, I can't turn down an order from the shogunate. I don't want to die just yet. Yeah, don't want to die. No more questions? Then let's get prepared and descend the mountain. Alright. It was decided. In a choice that was not fully my own, I was to travel to the city of Edo. I packed up our travel gear and ventured down to the village in the foothills. Truthfully, I didn't really want to be here. But before we left, I needed to ask the villagers to take care of Father's grave in my absence. Oh, you're here. At the village entrance, an unfamiliar face stood waiting. He was a young man relaxing against a tree while holding a cigarette in his mouth. In the look of the sword at his waist, I assumed he was probably another samurai, but he also gave off a friendly impression. Kunitaka, what are you doing? What do you mean, what are you doing? I was waiting for you. You wandered off as soon as we got to the village. Didn't I say I'd go ahead? That's the first I've heard of it, and here I was all worried that you'd run into some trouble on the mountains. Then the villagers told me the trail is winding easy to get lost on, so they stopped me from following after you. It was fine. You just got lucky. From now on, refrain from doing things on your own. Got it? Okay. Wait, why did you pause? Did you really get it? From their interaction, the man seemed to be an acquaintance of Takamura. He also seemed to be holding a higher position. A lot of questions, but I couldn't do something as outrageous as interrupt conversation between two samurai. As I stood quietly behind Takamura, the samurai suddenly peered over at me. Is she perhaps... Yeah, she's Susanoo. I happened to run into her near the summit. I explained to her about the Oniwaban. Hey, why didn't you tell me sooner? The samurai hurriedly put out his cigarette and then turned back to face me. In his route, he explains why he put his cigarette out. Sorry for the late introduction. I am Kunitaka Tojo. Like him, I'm also a member of the Oniwaban. Nice to meet you. I'm Susanoo. Dojo was a lot larger compared to Takamura. He was well built and tall, so tall if I wanted to properly look at his face while talking with him, I'd hurt my neck. But when I saw the friendly smile he was sending my way, I felt sort of relieved. I observed that much before noticing something else. No, he doesn't have threads either. Normally I could see one on anyone regardless of gender or age. Does this mean I can no longer see threads? Confused, I looked over at the village, just saw the villagers with threads around their necks, as clear as day. I can still see them, go figure. Threads. A mysterious phenomenon that only I can see. I must have been around 8 or 9 years old when I fully realized I had this ability. On that day, I noticed that everyone around me had necklace-like threads around their necks. I pointed it out immediately, but strangely enough, Father and the villagers claimed they couldn't see anything, which means they are something that only I can see. I actually tried to touch one before, but the threads simply slipped through my fingers. Could they be hallucination? Or perhaps they were something supernatural and intangible? Ever since then, I've been observing the threads in order to figure out their true nature. Over time, I noticed that the threads in question would change color, depending on the host's emotions. The threads are red, the person's angry. If they're yellow, the person's on guard. That kind of thing. But if that's the case, why can't I see the threads for these two? Hey, what are you lot doing? That's the mind-reading demon that lives in the mountains, isn't it? Why has it come down here? No. While I was lost in my thoughts, the villagers were inching closer. They must have been irritated that we were loitering around the village entrance. The mind-reading demon? You don't know? She's a yokai that can see through people's hearts. She doesn't go on about thread or some other nonsense, and she tricks the villagers. You boys should get away from her as soon as you can. Stay with her will bring nothing but misfortune. That's right. After realizing the power of the threads, I'd confessed everything to everyone. Because I was young, I hadn't thought twice about how others feel upon hearing it. The more I shared what I saw, the more people started to treat me as a creepy monster that could read people's minds. And when my father had died 3 years ago, the villagers jumped at the opportunity to chase me into the mountains. This power is the reason why I've been ostracized from the village. Wait, that's the guy. The samurai is the one who brought the mind-reading demon here. I just saw him in the mountains, there's no doubt about it. What'd you say? Hey, why'd you do that? You know the sort of disaster she'll bring if she comes down to the village. I'm sorry. I'll leave as soon as I finish what I need to do. Why are you apologizing? Huh? It's not like you did anything wrong, right? Well, that's... To be honest, I wanted to agree with him. All I had done was read the color of the threads. I couldn't do anything as ridiculous as bring about some sort of calamity. But I just wasn't strong enough to talk back in a situation like this. Come on, let's calm down. There's no need to gang up on a young girl like this. Besides, there's no way she could do anything like that. You're an outsider. You don't know the half of it. You have any idea what we've gone through because of her? This monster told my wife there were black threads around her, and then she died a few days later. She wasn't sick at all, just dropped dead. That's not all. There are countless other incidents. The only possibility is she's the one bringing the misfortune. Yet all day, she's smiling away like nothing's wrong. She makes me sick. We're only giving you supplies because of what your father did for us. But for him, who in their right mind wanted to associate with you? That's right. Go back to the mountains, you monster. I felt myself falter again at their harsh words. Slowly living without anyone near me, but it's even more painful to have to endure such hate. Breathless, I clutched at my chest. But at the corner of my eye, I saw something horrible. Oh no, the black threads! By the time I noticed it, the threads on everyone present were gradually blackening. All the colors depicting emotions, black is the one that must be avoided. I knew all too well that tragedy will inevitably befall a person with black threads. I'd seen it many times before, and each time, without fail, the person with the black threads would be met with an unfortunate incident. Most of the time I tried to talk to the villagers about threads, it was to warn them about the existence of the black threads. Oh, what should I do? Something horrible is going to happen to everyone. I couldn't do anything about it if I was the one causing it. Should I walk away from here right now? If I ran away all of a sudden, it could just make everyone even more emotional. What's wrong? The black threads are... While we were talking, the black threads started doing something new. Normally, I only see a few strands at a time, but by tangling with the threads from the people around them, the black threads began to increase in volume. Before I knew it, the black threads were no longer bound to people's necks. They started to appear from the ground and in the air. This didn't look good. The moment I realized this, I shouted out, "It's dangerous! Everyone get away!" But in that moment, something unbelievable happened. The black threads started to expand, and then from that tangled dark mass, a pitch-black monster appeared. Eek! What is that thing? Monster! Yeah. No way. There's no way this could happen just from the black threads tangling together. It was difficult to describe, but the monster looked like a spider woven together from black thread. Dozens of legs extended from its black body, and it wore a mask that looked like something out of a no play. The monster was so big that it could stare down at us with ease. I'm scared. Just looking at its unearthly appearance sent shivers down my spine. The monster roared as if to intimidate us before it raised its long legs and prepared to crush us underneath them. Yet neither Tojo nor Takamura so much as flinched. They'll get crushed! In that moment, split second before the attack landed, the monster's legs were sliced from its body. What? Its disembodied legs thrashed and writhed as they faded away into the air. What in the world had happened? As I spaced out from confusion. Susanoo, stay back. Jeez, didn't expect these things to show up all the way out here. There, Tojo and Takamura stood, their tachi swords at the ready. Judging by the black blood-like substance splattered on their blades, they must have saved me. But of course, there was no way the monster would stay down after such an assault. Its roar was so loud it resonated through the earth before charging at the two of them. Tominari, we're going to defeat it in one blow. Affirmative. The monster barreled straight towards them, but they evaded it at the last second. The large monster, unable to keep up with their agile movements, crashed to the ground from its own momentum. Hey, moron, what are you looking at? The monster roared in fury at the time and turned around. At that moment, up, Tojo tossed a pebble that crashed through the monster's line of sight. It was small, but it seemed enough to catch the monster's attention. And then, ha! Takamura, who had taken advantage of the opening to approach the monster, sliced through its mask with his sword. It seemed as if that was its weakness. The spider monster let out a hair-raising screech as it belted away into the air. Yeesh. Snow Sacrament complete. That's just the name of the banishing of the monster. This is a way to explain that word. I sat down on the ground, my knees weak after the sudden battle that had taken place before me. Not a single trace of the monster was left. I knew more than anyone that what I had just seen was no simple dream. Tominari, you're putting or charging in at the end, weren't you? How many times do I have to tell you to use a feint first before doing stuff like that? I figured you would do it, so I didn't have to. I mean, I guess, but... Well, anyway, Susanoo's more important right now. I'm surprised It's just like the intel said. What do you mean? You're able to predict when the the monster was going to appear, right? You warned all of us. Lord Yoshimune requires your power. My power? My power that had been reviled all this time. Never imagined the day would come that someone would need it. Though they were saying this directly to me, it didn't feel real. It was as if my mind was refusing to even react to the possibility. That was how it felt. You don't look convinced. Now, of course, it was because of this power that had been chased out of the village. But if you stay here any longer, bad things might happen to you again. Even if you're living alone, it's not like you can entirely avoid the village, right? As long as you stay, something like this will keep happening. Takamura. Call me Tominari. Nah? I'm not quite sure why myself, but I want you to call me that. Come with me, Susanoo. You'll find a place where you belong in Edo. With that, Tominari softly patted my head. Gently, kindly, just like Father had. So Muna Nenori is the name of her dad. Listen, right now everyone is scared of you, but it's not going to be like this forever, okay? If you keep working hard, someone who needs you, a person who cares for you, will appear. So you shouldn't give up on living. Sneaky man. In that moment, tears began flowing from the corners of my eyes. I hadn't cried like this since Father died. Since then, even when I was all alone, or when the villagers yelled at me, I hadn't shed a single tear. I thought that if I acknowledged it, my heart would give in to the pain. I thought that I would lose the will to live. So I decided I would never cry. I would smile and live on, yet the tears wouldn't stop. Tominari's hand was so warm. How long had it been since I felt someone's warmth? We just met and hardly knew anything about each other. But if this was the moment that Father told me about, then I wanted to believe in Tominari's words. I'll go. I'll go to Edo. Please take me there. There was someone out there who needed someone like me. As the realization sunk in, I came to a decision in my heart. After asking the villagers to take care of Father's grave, we departed on our journey. On our journey to Edo, we traveled through mountains and valleys. We took the Mikinui Kaido highway and proceeded down the nearest path to the Nakasendo mountain route. I took turns sitting behind Tojo and Takamura on their horses while enjoying the unfamiliar scenery. In the beginning, I wondered how difficult the road to Edo would be, but there was a post station as soon as we entered the mountain route, so we didn't have to worry about spending the night outside. In fact, I thought I was leading a life far more fitting for a human being than when I had been living alone. It was fun visiting all the post stations. All of them were huge, hundreds of stores and houses lined up. Once I was staring at products in the store for so long that Tojo couldn't take it anymore, so he gave me some pocket money. Use this and buy whatever you like. But there's so much money here. Are you sure? I sort of feel bad. His lordship does to buy things for you. Don't worry about it. That's right. Use that money however you like. Thank you. I'll spend it wisely. No, if you have that, you'll need a wallet to hold the money, right? Let's look for one while we're here. Okay. We then found a store with wallets lined up out front. There are so many wallets there that it was hard for my eyes to settle on one. Did you find any that you like? I like this one with the flower pattern. Looks good. Go ahead and buy it. Well, yes, but this wallet's a little pricier than the other ones. Ah, I see. Well then. Tominari had been looking in from the side. He then picked up the wallet in question and went to the back of the store. Tominari? I wondered what he was doing until I saw him exchanging money with the storekeeper. After that, he came straight back to me and... Here you go. He handed me the flower pattern wallet, as if it were only natural. It seemed that he had bought the wallet for me. What? Why did you... If this is your first wallet, I think you should have one that you like. So this is my present to you. Can I really have it? Of course. Tomonari placed the wallet in my hands. As I touched the smooth material of the wallet, Tomonari's kindness became even clearer. My heart felt full. Thanks. I'm super happy. No, I'm sorry. I was just so happy. But that thank you lacked decorum. I think I prefer that. What? You should talk like that with me from now on. I'd feel better that way. Okay, got it. It was a hasty journey and took a lot of energy. Plenty of difficult stuff happened too, but this trip had become a precious memory for me. So cute. 10 days after we set off from the village, we finally arrived in Edo after a long, long journey. Is this Edo? I rubbed my bum practically flat from sitting on a horse for so long and took a look around. To be frank, Edo was nothing like the village I was born and raised in, nor was it like the post station. To describe it in one word, it was luxurious, or fantastical. Lanterns illuminated every corner, even though it was still noon, and intricately decorated houses were lined up as if meticulously planned. The town itself was its own art form, and I was instantly spellbound. Amazing. I can't believe something like this can actually exist. Well, the city of Edo is pretty great, isn't it? Yes, I was so surprised. This is the first time I've ever been to such a beautiful and amazing city. You said the same thing when we got to the first post station. You even asked, is this Edo? Just forget about that. I only said that because I've never been to any other city. I almost forgot about that. Still, I never thought the two of you would get along so well. What? Really? This is normal. Come on, it's not really normal, is it? I never would have expected such a change from Tomonari. It's almost like you two are old pals. I was surprised when you comforted Susanoo back when we were at her home village, but it must have been a good learning experience for you. Alright, Tomonari, let's keep it up and get closer too. You, me, together with the same goal, standing shoulder to shoulder. Not gonna happen. Yeah, I had a feeling you'd say that. Poor Tojo. While we talked, Tojo started to walk as if to guide us. Actually, walking around Edo hammered home the sheer number of people that were in the city. No matter where I looked, there were people, and more people. There were men trying to entice customers to their stores, women returning home from shopping, to children playing about. There were people from all walks of life. Of course, every one of them had threads hanging from their necks, flashing their bright emotions at me. If only that were the end of it. What really concerned me were the black threads, which clung to the houses like spider webs. They were likely the same black threads that had summoned the monster back in my home village. I remembered something someone had said in the past. People's negative emotions are stronger than any other, and can remain in particular places as an emotional imprint. So is this what an emotional imprint is? The threads were spread on every part of each house, and it made me unbearably nervous to see how they tangled with each other. Is something wrong? Oh, it's nothing. I just couldn't help but notice all the black threads on the buildings. You mean the same ones that you saw during that incident in the village? Yes. During the trip, I explained everything about my power to the two of them. That when the spider monster appeared, the trigger was the black threads tangling together. Is it alright to leave the house like that? What if that monster appears again? Well, there's nothing we can do about that right now. You don't have to worry too much about that kind of stuff yet. I see. Even during the trip, Tojo and Tomonari hadn't really explained the monster in detail. Every time I asked them questions, they would avoid the topic, just like this. It's probably really important information. I'm still not involved, so that's why they're not telling me, I guess. Okay, I don't know. These are just some passerbys. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Suddenly a shout from somewhere interrupted my train of thought. I looked over in the direction of the voice. A townsperson was getting in an argument with someone who looked like one of the servants in the stores. Everyone in the vicinity also seemed curious and murmuring amongst themselves as they watched on. Did I get water on you, Ayapala? Were you even looking at where you were splashing that, you bastard? You don't even have eyes, you idiot! What? Don't you think you're taking it too far? I was just trying to apologize to you. Shut up! Just shut up! This is why I hate people who can't do their jobs properly. Don't talk back to me. Are you kidding me? You're the one who was spacing out while walking around, and it's not my fault you weren't paying attention. What'd you say? That's... yeah. That's a fight. There's plenty of people in Edo. Those are pretty much par for the course. Shouldn't we try to stop them? They're going to start beating each other up. Wouldn't worry about that. There's... You're gonna be kidding me, you ass! It seemed that the townsperson's anger had reached its peak while we were having our conversation. Gensch's fest, ready to throw it at the servant. I know, at this rate he'll... in that moment... That's enough. Someone stepped in between the two, intercepting the townsperson's punch straight on. You're... Kuga! The person was a dignified-looking samurai with a resplendent sword strapped around his waist. But seeing who had intruded upon the fight, both the servant and townsperson had mixed expressions on their faces. I don't know what happened, but violence is hardly the answer. Kuga, he splashed water on me first, so I just lost my cool. Is that true? Well, yes, but when I tried to apologize, he insulted me. Not the only one who's at fault here. What'd you say? I see. I understand the situation more or less. The servant caused the incident. You are also to blame for ruining the chance to resolve it peacefully. How about the two of you apologize to each other and make up? If you cause any more of a scene, I wouldn't be surprised if the volunteer police and constables made an appearance. Ugh. The intruder's advice seemed to have a great effect on the two. After awkwardly staring at each other, they both began speaking at the same time. Well, if Kuga says so, I guess I have no choice. Sorry for saying all that. As long as you understand it was a mistake. Sorry for getting water on you. Kuga, thank you. Thanks to you, things didn't get out of hand. Just like that, townsperson and the servant both quietly walked away. Thinking the show was over, the crowd of people who had been watching naturally dispersed. Everything returned to normal hustle and bustle. As if the incident had never even happened. Thank goodness. Looks like they resolved that without anyone getting hurt. But what an amazing samurai. He was even able to stop city folk from fighting. Huh. As I gazed with respect at the samurai, our eyes unmistakably met. Not only that, the samurai was walking closer and closer to me. Why? Did I do something I wasn't supposed to? Well, now I think about it, I don't see his threads. You, Genjiro! Hard at work as always, I see. Kunitaka, Tomonari, I see you've returned. Tojo called out to the samurai, derailing my train of thought. It seemed he had business with Tojo and Tomonari. Since they were on a first-name basis, they were probably quite close. Well, okay, so he's acquainted with Tojo and Tomonari. You sure took your time with this mission. What, did you have to spend a lot of time convincing the target? No, nothing like that. It's just Tomonari ran off on his own again, so the journey took longer than expected. All you did was smoke a cigarette. Don't blame everything on me. You really don't pull any punches, do you? Can you work on your attitude a little? Hey, what are you looking at? Can you at least listen to me when I'm talking to you? Anyway, she the girl in question. Hurry up and introduce us. Oh, come on, not you too. You're not interested in us, but you could have at least pretended. Wow, Tojo doesn't get a break. Unable to jump into the conversation, I kept on watching the two. Then rubbing the back of his head, Tojo turned to look at me. Well, I guess I have to introduce him to you too. His name is Genjiro Koga. He is a member of the Oniwaba, and just like us. Normally his job is to patrol Castletown. Is that how it is? I see. They didn't try to break up the fight earlier because they know that Kuga's here. So the reason he doesn't have threads is because... And this here is Susanoo. She's the girl we brought back from the village. That Kuga observed me with an unwavering stare. His gaze is so sharp. It seemed he was interested in me, but I couldn't help but feel nervous when I was stared at in such a manner. Kuga. What's wrong, Tominari? You're staring at Suzuno too much. She's all tensed up. Take it down a notch. Oh, I see now. I apologize. Ever since I heard about you, I was curious about what kind of person you would be. It's fine. If I remember correctly, your meeting with his lordship is tomorrow. It's a good thing you made it on time. That's right, they explained it to me on the road. Surprisingly, I also had to meet with Lord Yoshimune. I was living in the mountains. I never thought I would ever meet someone as famous as Lord Yoshimune. And more than that, is it alright for someone like me to meet him? My stomach's starting to hurt from all the stress. Aren't you overreacting a little? He's the one who says he wants to meet you. I don't think there's any reason to think too hard about it. It's understandable considering she's meeting Lord Yoshimune. Right. It's just a little difficult to change the way I think about it. In that case, why don't you have a look around? Town to take your mind off things. There's more than enough time for that. At this time of day, you might even be able to meet him. Him? After I voiced my confusion, everyone nodded, their expressions insinuating something. And then, Kuga took us somewhere truly unexpected. Hello, welcome to our tea stall. Take whatever seat you'd. It's Kuga, whatever occasion. Please make yourself comfortable. Yes, don't mind if I do. By the way, there's something I wanted to ask you. Kuga started chatting with the servant of the store. It seemed the two knew each other. It doesn't look like there are any customers. The house worker isn't who you want me to meet, is he? Right, it's someone other than him. The guy's pretty free-spirited. If he isn't here, he's either at a tempura stand or at a dango store. All places that sell food. Since we're here, let's just take it easy and rest up. You must be tired from the long journey. Yes, thank you. Have the three of you decided on what to order? Let's see, I think I'll have a cup of the sieve tea. Me too. How about you? And I'll have the same. Understood. I'll bring everything straight away, so please wait one moment. And don't forget what we discussed. Yes, please, leave it to me. With that, the servant went to the back of the store with a skip in his step. Not only were there threads hanging from his neck, there's also a beautiful wooden tag. Oh, that's What's wrong, Suzuno? Why are you staring at him like that? Oh, it's not a big deal. It's been a while since I've seen a form folk in person. I didn't mean to stare. I didn't know form folk live such normal lives in a big city like Edo. Now I think about it, there weren't any in the village you lived near. Were they banned? Yeah, it'd make life harder if there were too many residents. It was against the rules to make any. That makes sense. Must be tough making sure everyone has enough to eat out in the countryside. Farm folk. Mysterious beings are born when a tool is taken care of over a long period of time, and a soul begins to form. Their bodies are ethereal? Created from memories they share with their owner from when they were still tools. Bodies are tangible, so long as they meet the conditions for doing so. They can alter their appearance however they like. At the end of the day, the true form is a tool, as all they've obtained is the ability to manifest their bodies in the real world. To form folk apart from a person, one needs to check for a testimonial tablet. In other words, all form folk have a wooden tag somewhere on their body that has their name engraved on it. This wooden tag is the defining feature of form folk. They can only become form folk by receiving a name from their master. And this the servant was a form folk only because he hung his ceremonial tablet. His testimonial tablet, I can read. His testimonial tablet from a place as visible as his neck. Jeez. Your birthplace forbade the very action of engraving the name on a wooden tag, then. Right, any form folk that doesn't receive a name from their master just disappears, so. And no one's ever gotten married to form folk? In Edo, it's normal for humans and form folk to marry. No, no one in our village. I've heard about it, but I've never actually seen it happen before. Sorry for the wait. As you're talking, the servant from earlier popped his head out from the back of the store. Where's Yoichi? Nah, he said it's fine. I'll take you to the back seating area. So everyone, please follow me. What's going on? It's simple. He doesn't want people to know he's slacking off, so he's resting in the back. Eh, he knows how his mind works. Susanoo, come here. The man I want you to meet is back here. Right. With that, followed Kuga and went to the back of the store. There sat a man on a shogi seat, usually sipping tea. What? I'm in the middle of my break. He was a young-looking man with a distinctively calm gaze. His long, silky hair was held back with a comb, and he was wearing his kimono properly. Despite this, he gave off a somewhat languid air. Judging by his clothing, he was most likely a commoner, but he also doesn't have threads, so that means... This is Yoichi. He's a member of the Oniwaban, just like us. Normally, he disguises himself as a citizen of Castletown to collect information. That being said, he often sneaks out between work to laze around in the store. I see. So that's why you said he might be in this store. Alright. Thanks for the introduction. Is this over here in my precious time off? Young man, Yoichi, interrupted our conversation with an irritated complaint. Oh, right. Haven't even greeted him. We're already talking about it like this. No wonder he's not happy. I apologize. I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Susanoo. I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance. Yoichi? Not interested. Nah? That's all you wanted to say, right? You can scram. You're interrupting my break. So mean. You want to ask for her name. Man, you never change. I figured this would happen. Yoichi, you do know that Kunitaka and Tominari were on a trip for a mission, right? Yeah, I know. The one where they went to some backwater village to bring someone back, right? That girl they brought back is Susanoo. Since you're around, we figured that we'd let you meet her as well, but... I see. Cheers to that. Yoichi chugged down the tea he had been holding. Maybe he dislikes me because I interrupted his break time. Only I could see his threads, then I'd know immediately. I think about it. Why is it that people from the Oniwaban are the ones whose threads I can't see? Did everyone from the Oniwaban perhaps receive some sort of special training so others can't read their emotions? Have you never gone through training like that? Why do you ask? Remember I mentioned I can see people's emotions as threads? Well, I can't see the threads of any of the people here. I should be able to see it on foreign folk too. I'm just wondering about that is all. So that's how you see us. It seems the power Lord Yoshimune wants really does exist. What does that mean? Despite my question, the four men could only look at each other and did not answer. Seeing the expression kind of made me nervous. Yeah, something I shouldn't have. That's not it at all. It's just difficult to explain. I'll tell you some other time. Alright. After we enjoyed our tea, we went back out to Castletown. Now that I believe it's time that we get back to work, I'll report back to the captain. Alright, I'll leave it to you. Thank you very much. It was very enjoyable talking with you. We have the chance to. Let's chat again. I would like to know more about your powers and such. I'll do my best. So much for my break. Being around others is so exhausting. Yoichi, don't say those things out loud. You should consider her position too. I wasn't talking about her. I was talking about you lot barging in here. I see. Then that's fine. No, actually, it's not fine at all. I'll be accompanying you to Yanagi Brewery. Lord Yanagi won't get any work done with you lazing around here. Yeah, I get it. Do what you want. Then we'll take our leave. With that, farewell. With that farewell, Kuga and Yoichi disappeared into the crowd. The two of them really seem to sync. Kuga seems like a put-together person, while Yoichi's carefree, I suppose. Yoichi may seem that way. He gets things done when he needs to. Though mostly he just lazes around like what we just saw. I see. Everyone is a direct subordinate of Lord Yoshimune, so they must all be pretty impressive when they're serious. So I thought about that. Tominari stared at my face. Susanoo, are you still up for walking? Yeah, I'm fine. Had some tea and a nice rest, so I'm actually all full of energy now. I see, then, since we're here, you want to go for a walk around the other districts? Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Probably be assigned to other missions by tomorrow. Other districts? Isn't it just Castletown and the castle? Tojo nodded at my question. So, Edo's largely made up 4 districts. There's Kyoto Castle, Castletown, then there's Samurai Town, and the Entertainment District. Then we're staying at is in Samurai Town, so we'll end up there anyway. I think it's worth taking a look at the Entertainment District at least. The Castletown was breathtakingly enough. There's 2 more towns that are just as amazing? Well, do you want to go see it? Yes, I want to go. Alright, good answer. Let's go before the sun goes down. And so we immediately started making our way to the Entertainment District. Alright, we'll actually do this next time. Yes, not only has it been almost an hour, but my throat is starting to hurt from all the reading. So I'm going to rest it. And next time we will explore the other 2 districts, basically, as our cute little Susanoo here. Completely oblivious to everything. That's alright. It only makes sense that she doesn't know, but she will find out. Alright, until next time, thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.